Alright, so we start game 3 here, and this is a German player. It's got a Hetzer, Nebelwerfer again, a couple veteran squads, a couple regular squads, and this scenario is kill the other guy's lieutenant. You basically, they limited the headquarters where you can only move up to D6 inches whenever you decide to move him. It was alternating deployment. Mine is kind of down here in like a pillbox behind this armored car. His is up there in the top right corner behind that house. Outflankers were allowed. I have a unit of Gurkhas in a truck, and he's got a unit of assault engineers with a flamethrower in one of those little half-size half-tracks. And it's kill points, so you get 1 point per thing you kill, and then it's bonus points, basically like a 5 point. You lose 2 points if your lieutenant gets killed, and you gain 3 points if you kill the guy's lieutenant. So his Hetzer takes a shot at this truck with the commandos with submachine gun him, and you know, this alternating deployment kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm not sure what to do. He's got that Nebelwerfer back there, which is super annoying because if he sees anything, he can drop that needing a 6 to hit template down. I don't really have my goal at the moment is looking at it. I've got my armored car. I think I can get a pretty decent shot on that Nebelwerfer. I've got my mortars trying to fire on it already, needing a 6, and then it get consequently or subsequently better. We're both running about the same amount of order dice. And it was kind of wedged in between tables here, so I didn't really have a lot of room to get this camera in a very good spot. There was players on both of our sides, and we were in the middle of the deal. So you know, we both have 2 wins. The table to the left of us both has 2 wins. I know I haven't scored very many points, so I really need to kill his lieutenant. And if I don't kill his lieutenant, whether I win or lose, I'm not going to win best, or not going to win top. There's no paint scores, unfortunately, because I do have, I think, one of the better painted armies at this event. There's no sportsmanship scores and anything like that. It's just basically battle points, and the battle, you know, win, lose, draw, you score points, and then also the tiebreaker points are based off of your scenario ones, and I've only barely won my scenario, so I need a very resounding victory. All or nothing is my mindset. He comes out with this Piat of that house and fired at my armored car and missed. I did put a hit with 1 pin on his Nebelwerfer. I think, yeah, so I'm not sure what that was. Template. Maybe fired his Nebelwerfer at my armor car, which then would also be within 6 inches of that irregular squad. Yeah, Nebelwerfers are kind of a bitch because, you know, it's a 6 up, 3 inch. It's like a heavy mortar, which can hit additional things. If you overthink it, you spend your whole game hiding and not doing anything, which is where they're very powerful. Actually, I think they do more in that regard. For 60 points, or whatever they cost, they can't have a spotter, so oftentimes they are subject to being hit. The catch is, though, you know, on a 6 up, you know, you don't want to go down with your stuff, and if you roll that 6, it's pretty devastating. So he's just kind of doing some positioning over here on the left. My mortar's on the far left. My lead tank is right there in the middle, and I'm trying to. There's a lot of hard cover, so he's got a heavy anti-tank gun. I think his armor's only 8 though. I've got an equal tank to him, if not better, more versatile. But he's got his lieutenant right there down by where his hand is there, and there's really no way to get to him without crossing kind of some open ground. I do make an error. I have a commando squad over on the far right, which you can't see, and I decide to. I have it in. I turn 1. I end up putting it in ambush, because I didn't know what to do with it. And what I should have done, there's like a pillbox over there. which I wouldn't go into, but I should have ran them aggressively up the right-hand side, because later in the game they're always kind of like 12 inches behind where they need to be. In hindsight, I should have probably put nothing in reserve, and I mean, obviously his lieutenant was one of the last things he placed. Or no, we had to place him early on. So, you know, in hindsight, I should have just put all my trucks over here on the right-hand side, all loaded with a squad of Gurkhas in them, drove them all 12 inches up, or even ran them one turn. If they pop, and then just start up and atoming, and then just overwhelmed one side. That's what I should have done. I should have been like super bonsai Japanese aggressive, I think. Just overwhelm one side. But you know, I've got guys in outflank. I've got squad on the far right. I've got a Gurkha squad behind that Connex box. And I've got one in that truck. And my regulars. I think I overthought a little bit about the Nebelwerfer. I thought if I just go a couple turns, I can hit it with my mortar, hit it with the armor car. Once I neutralize that, then I'd kind of bum rush. But here I just kind of decide, screw it, I'm going to go. It's at the end of the turn, and that's where I go. So I can't, you know, obviously assault out of a truck, but I'm thinking, you know what, if he pops me, and this is what I should have done with like 3 trucks. If he wants to pop that, that's fine. I'll take a pin, I'll come out these 6 inches, and I'll start up and atoming it. And I think that's exactly what happens. Because I got to try to get back to where that lieutenant is. He also has an armored car there with a light auto cannon. So yeah, the truck blows up. I think I roll a 6 for that. And so since I rolled so high, I didn't expect to roll a 6. I figured I would just end up in front of the truck, and then if I assault him, we'd go Simo. I decide to, since I rolled a 6, move him a little farther up, and I've got that wall for a little bit of cover. I shouldn't even really be worried about that, to be honest, but he's got a Piat team I can assault, and then if I get into that house, I can work my way back to get to the lieutenant, and then it'll be game over. And this is where I realized, you can see that pillbox there. I've got a squad right here on the right-hand side, on the bottom right, behind that house that I should have ran up behind that pillbox that turn. He's got a squad on the far right, kind of on the back side of that house, like a 2 light machine gun veteran squad, I think. Or could be regulars. But anywho, so we start going into the next turn. I think I get early dice, and yeah, my back is all over. And so my artillery barrage comes in, and I roll a 1, and then it drifts back there to see where that token is. So it's going to go ahead and put pins on my armored car. It's going to actually hit. I roll a 6 on that squad because I rolled a 12 for the distance. And so I'm like, whoa, that was awesome. There, I fixed my camera. Oh, I ran out of memory card, so I realized I had to switch the memory card. So yeah, so that's unfortunate. So the artillery barrage pretty much killed that squad. I finished them off, I think, with my Gurkhas, and then I finished on the next turn. So I think we're at turn 3 when I realized the camera memory card was gone, which unfortunately this memory card I put in, I didn't clear it out, so it kind of ends quickly as well, because it had like an award ceremony from some other tournament on it. But anywho, so you can see basically on the right hand side, I can got my Gurkhas kind of coming up now towards that pillbox. My regulars came out in the middle. I got my one squad, took out the Piat team, and his other squad's gone. So I'm feeling pretty okay at this point. I know I have a squad of Gurkhas in a truck off board, but unfortunately we missed it. He fired a Nebelwerfer. I moved my truck in front of my lieutenant to block his mortar observer from being able to see my lieutenant, and then his Nebelwerfer could see my truck. He fired, he missed the lieutenant, missed the truck, and we checked the range, and it was just on the hair of the chinny chin thumbnail of that Gurkha squad behind that Connex box, and then he rolled a 6, because it's 6 inches from the template, not 6 inches from the target, and he rolled a 6 and destroyed that entire squad, which was bad, because they were kind of the linchpin to my left flank. I was going to just use them to hold off multiple squads of his. So that kind of, it throws you out when you lose a full squad in a blink of an eye. So now my Lee, which I was going to be more aggressive with, is now positioning. So if he moves his squads down that alleyway, because I can kind of make him pay. But it's fending off a Hetzer and 2 infantry squads at this point. So it's some little bit turns of events here. My own artillery barrage put that pin on my armored car, which was unfortunate, because when I went to activate to get that clean drive up, get some nice sweet shots on that Nebelwerfer, right before it blew up, right before the turn, right before I failed and had to go down, which really sucked. So yeah, his lieutenant's still sitting behind that house. My squad of 4 Gurkhas behind that kind of broken down smokestack. They're up to like 5 pins or something. They've been definitely getting shot. He's got like a sniper, and then he hits him with some 1-inch autocannon templates, I think. And I'm down to the last guy with like 7 pins on me. I think at this point, somewhere along here, the tournament organizer comes by and lets us know how much time we have, and it's not looking good. You know, it's like, what the hell? So that's why I'm really lamenting that I didn't get that Gurkha squad up there behind the pillbox, because then on this turn they could have popped around. They have submachine guns, shot the crap out of that squad of his there, cleared a avenue for my truck with the Gurkhas in it to just drive down the side of that building and get to where his lieutenant is. So I didn't even bother to shoot this turn. I just ran, and I ran out there because it's towards the end of the turn, and I'm looking to obviously up and at him, or assault and wipe that squad out. He's just running some guys over there on the far left, which I'm not too worried about. I have a mortar back in that corner. Other than that, I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried. The only thing I'm worried about is my lieutenant getting hit by a 6-up, from a mortar or a Nebelwerfer, which would suck. So he comes in with he gets the first dice, unfortunately, and he comes in with his armored car. And it's just got some machine guns, and that's fine. I don't care about that. And he actually shot pretty good. I think he killed 3 dudes, which was, for 5 shots against veterans, that's pretty good. And then I think he pulls the next dice, because I was going to assault that thing, and they'd have to come out and defend, and I would go first. But it's like, shit, he pulled 2 dice in a row. So he's got Panzerfaust in the thing, and he shoots at my armored car. I've already gone, so I can't recce. And he fortunately rolls Snake Eyes, so he missed with both. And then his Flamethrower, needing a 3-up against my irregulars, he misses. So that was a huge. I was like, what? That is great. So I'm looking at. See, I've already gone with all my stuff. So we're going to be looking at the next turn. Oh, he replaced his Panzerfaust there. So, and his lieutenant's just shuffling back and forth behind the house. So here's a very critical turn. I think I just run my medic over there to maybe give me some 6-up ward saves. And here we go. So, like, first dice is crucial. If I get it, I'll have my irregulars assault that Pioneer squad. and then I should be able to assault his other squad, and then I could just turn this whole flank. But what happens? He gets the first dice. So he's got the first dice. And after some contemplating, he goes obviously with those guys, but he doesn't know what to do exactly, which squad to eliminate. So he moves there, which is a good move, because now he's protected from my irregulars. If I assault him, we'll go Simo, because I have to go around that barrier or go over it. And he misses with his flamethrower again, which was pretty big. But his 3 submachine guns and stuff, I'm down to like 3 Gurkhas, because he rolled great on the wound. So now I'm down to 3 guys, and I get a dice, and now I'm really torn. I've got 3 Gurkhas there. 3 against 6 either way is not going to do much. I've got a big squad of irregulars. If I up and atom them, we'll go Simo. He's got 3 of his guys have tough fighter. I do not have tough fighter, and they're not Gurkhas. I'll go ahead and go with my tank. Comes up here, and he recce's that thing away. He can recce towards the enemy if he's puts himself in a better position of cover. And then I do fire the machine gun and the medium tank gun at the Hetzer, and I airball. So it's really coming down to the right hand side here. I need to clear, what I needed to do was clear that squad out on the right. If I would have pulled the first dice, or in any of those last couple of turns, you know, I could have, or if I gone up sooner, I could have had my Gurkha squad at 6 guys or 8 guys, clean that squad out. Then I have a wide open opening for my, this is turn 3, for my Gurkha truck to come in, unload behind the house, and then spray the lieutenant for 1 turn, and then on the next turn assault him. But that's not what's happening. So order dice wise, it's, I think he's killed a truck, you know, and I've killed a squad, and he's killed the Gurkha squad, and I killed a squad in the Panzerschreck team. So I go ahead and assault that squad with my 3 Gurkhas, because it's desperation time. And it's 3 versus like 5 or something. 6, 3 versus 6. And I'm veterans, he's a reg. So this is all or nothing, and I actually do great. He, and by great I mean die. And so it's like, well, that's shit. So I lost a dice, and he consolidated right back to where the vulnerable spot was. I don't even think I killed a guy. But the way the dice were coming, I didn't really have much other choice, because we're running out of time, and that's the problem with these tournaments at 1250 with a slow start and that like bag draw deployment, is my army does not work that well on